So then, hi everyone. I thought today I would come on and film my labour and delivery story. Um, so for people that don't really like to hear my videos, I'd click off now. Because I mean it's a labour story, so it's gonna have a bit of gore. Um, so I'd like to give a bit of a backstory really. So I had to be induced due to high BMI, but also I developed preeclampsia when I was like 36 weeks pregnant. Um, so I went to, because I had to have growth scans because of my BMI, and attached them growth scans were appointments to talk about my health, but also the scan to like, so that they can tell me what's going on. So the first growth scan that I had was at 36 weeks pregnant, like 35, 36 weeks pregnant. And they discovered that my blood pressure was raised. Not by a lot, but was raised. So they made me sit in the waiting area for an hour and then rechecked my blood pressure and it had gone down. They decided from that moment I'd be monitored for a week. So I had appointments set in stone basically. So they were all okay until the Friday after the growth scan, where it was significantly raised. So your blood pressure should be 140 over 90. It had gone to 150 over 100 at the midwife appointment. By the time I got to the hospital, because I had to go up to the maternity assessment centre to get checks done, it had gone to 168 over, I think it was over 113, which is obviously really, really dangerous. So they gave me a tablet, which brought it down to what it should be. So from that moment on, I was kept on that tablet twice a day, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. So that was that. And I got given a blood pressure monitor to check my blood pressure at home. So on the 8th of April, I had my last growth scan to determine what the plan of action would be. So she was head down. She'd been head down since about 20 weeks, so it was no different. And I knew she was head down because any pregnant lady will tell you, you can feel it. Let's just put it that way. So that was that. So on the 8th, everything was okay. Like I said, head down. She was the size that they wanted her to be and were happy with. So the plan was to induce me that week. At that appointment, I was offered a stretch and sweep, which I took. And they noticed I was 1 to 2 centimetres dilated when they did that. Unfortunately, it didn't do anything. It didn't kickstart labour, no nothing. It did release my mucus plug, which for people that don't know, that can sometimes be a start of labour, but it wasn't for me, unfortunately. So I had to be properly induced. So on the Thursday, I was told to phone up the hospital to see if there was a bed. Unfortunately, there wasn't, but I got called up Friday morning for a bed. So I went up and they wanted to do outpatient induction. So they checked I was eligible for it. And what that is it's a little balloon they call it a balloon catheter. So it's got two balloons that are about this size attached to one another. It sits in your cervix to dilate it, to then go on to the next step of having your waters broken. So I had that. It basically was the worst pain other than labour I've ever felt. From the minute it was in till the minute it got removed, I couldn't keep a single thing down, only like sips of water, but sometimes even that would come back up. But it was doing what it needed to do. Because basically on the Saturday, because that was on the Friday, on the Saturday when I went back to get it removed, I dilated enough to be able to have my waters broken. So I was 3 centimetres dilated. But on the Saturday, she wasn't moving as much as they would like, so I had to have extra monitoring for like an hour after it got removed. And I was having some back pain, not contractions, just back pain, which they said could be the start of it. It wasn't, once again. And then, so that was the Saturday, and then I was waiting for a bed. I didn't get called up until the Sunday morning. So the Sunday morning, I got called up to have my waters broken. So I got my waters broken at 1:30 on the Sunday, and at 2 o'clock my contractions started, but not as much as they would like, so they put me on the hormone drip. Anyway, I did from 2 till 6:30 with just paracetamol and breathing, and then at 6:30 I went on the gas and air. And that, it helped significantly, did the gas and air. And I was constantly strapped to a heartbeat monitor, which obviously isn't good, because when you're in labour you're supposed to be up and moving, 'cause they want gravity to take hold, which obviously with me couldn't happen, because they tried to clip the thing onto her head to monitor a heartbeat, but it just kept falling off because she was wiggling her head that much. Another thing as well, when they broke my waters, they noticed meconium, so she'd done a poo inside of me, because obviously she was distressed with everything that had been going on, which isn't good. So like I said, I did, and then at 6:30 I got put on the gas and air, and then from 6:30 until 2:30 I was just on gas and air. Breathing as well as the gas and air, which really helped. Then at 2:30 I decided no, enough's enough, so I got the epidural. They had to try that 3 times in my back to get a spot where it would stay, and eventually on the 3rd attempt they found a spot. Now, by the time they got it in, it was about 3:30. So at 3:30 they checked me again just to see how dilated I was, and I was still only 3 centimetres. I hadn't moved from the minute I got into that hospital after the balloon catheter had been removed till the Sunday, and I hadn't dilated even when I was in labour. So they decided, because her heart rate, if you'd have asked me to do this a month ago, I couldn't have done it because I'd have just cried, but now I'm a bit stronger about this. Her heart rate had dropped quite significantly, actually, and I was watching it on the monitor, which obviously is the worst thing I could have possibly done, because I was stressing myself out, which was obviously stressing her out. So it went down, so they decided, right, enough's enough, we need to emergency C-section you. So they wheeled me round, topped up my epidural. Turns out it didn't work, because as soon as they cut me, I could feel it. So what annoyed me about that was, they said, can you actually feel it, or can you feel pressure? Because obviously when you have a C-section you can feel pressure. And I was like, no, I can feel it, you need to stop. So they stopped, and I ended up having a C-section under general anaesthetic. But what was bad about that was Ryan, unfortunately, obviously I didn't get to see her being born, but her dad didn't either, because he got kicked out. This is the bad bit. So as I was being put under, they turned around and Ryan said, why can't I be in the room? Because obviously he's curious as to why he wasn't allowed to see his child being born. And they basically turned around and said, it's in case either your partner or the baby dies. Bearing in mind, her heart rate's already gone down, and I could hear them saying that. And that was the last thing I heard before I must have gone to sleep. And then at 6:30, I actually met her. I woke up in recovery and was handed my gorgeous baby girl. Quite possibly the best moment of my entire life. In fact, it's not quite possibly the best moment of my entire life. I asked them to go and get Ryan because he still wasn't in the room. So Ryan came, he met her, he got his cuddles. We had a couple of family photos taken by the lovely, lovely student midwife. And that was that. But other than her heart rate dropping, and she had to have some oxygen to bring her round when she was born, everything went, and being felt, everything kind of went smoothly. It wasn't what I wanted. Obviously, I wanted a natural birth, because unfortunately I didn't even get skin to skin. Because I was so weak, I couldn't undress myself to have the skin to skin. So the only time I actually got the skin to skin was when they took me up to the labour ward to obviously stay the night, because I had had a C-section, but I would have had to have stayed for 24 hours anyway, because the tablets that I were on for my blood pressure could have affected her. So I had to stay in for 24 hours. So when I got up to the labour ward, I had a lovely, lovely lady looking after me called Maggie, the nicest woman ever. I said, I haven't had skin to skin. Would you be able to help me so I can have skin to skin? And she's like, you haven't had skin to skin yet? And I'm like, no. And she's like, right, okay, yeah, of course. So I had my lovely hour of skin to skin with her, just taking it all in. Ryan went home for a nap because we'd both been awake. Well, I mean, I got put to sleep, but other than that, we'd both been awake for 24 hours, just with stress and anxiety and everything. We'd both been awake. We couldn't sleep, waiting for a call to go up and have my waters broken. So that was that, and then we had to stay for 24 hours. My mum and dad came and met her. So my mum came 2 while 4 and met her and had lovely cuddles. My dad came 6 while 8, because the rule was Ryan was allowed to be there from 10 while 8 the whole day. Obviously, she was born at 5 to 5, so from 5 to 5 he stayed, and then he came back anyway. But the rule was, other than Ryan, you were only allowed one visitor 2 while 4, another visitor 6 while 8. And there was no way in hell that would have been anybody other than my mum and dad, because with a C-section, you have to have a catheter, and the only people that I would have wanted to have seen me in that state were obviously Ryan and my mum and dad, and obviously the professionals, because it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling. And I just was taking it all in, having all the baby cuddles. She is bottle fed, but because I was so weak, Ryan had to do her first feed and changed her and everything, just because I couldn't do it. I was too weak. And that was that. And then she was born on the 15th of April, on the Monday, and then on the Tuesday we got to bring her home, and that's when she met my sister. I met Ryan's mum and dad, and then on the Wednesday she met Ryan's sister. She is so loved by everybody. Everyone absolutely adores her. She is a fantastic baby, so advanced, holds her own head up already. I mean, she's 11 weeks on Monday. I'm now filming this on the Thursday. Holds her own head up, keeps trying to put herself into the crawling position, can roll onto her side. She's just doing really well. I'll probably start doing more baby content now that I am a mum. You know, I might start doing like days in my life. I mean, they're pretty boring because it is basically just looking after her, maybe going out for a walk. But it's been quite warm this week in England, so we haven't even been able to do that. We've been indoors pretty much all the time just because it's too warm for her. Apart from at night, we might pop to like the supermarket just to get out. But yeah, and I'm loving every single second of being a mum. I genuinely, this is going to sound so cringy, but it's genuinely what I think I was born to be. I think I was born to be a mum, because I'm just loving every single second. I'm loving teaching her things. I'm loving playing with her. I'm loving the boring things like doing her bottles. Like, it's everything I do is now for her. So yeah, I hope you've kind of enjoyed her story as to how she came into the world. So thank you for watching. I shall see you guys very soon. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you. Bye.